our topic is software engineering processes, and that relates to chapter 2 in your book. And we're going to talk about software process models, process activities, software change, and process improvement today. So what is a software process? It's a structured set of activities that you use when you're developing software. There's a difference between the process and the model. The model is the abstract representation of your process. So you guys remember from data structures, you studied abstract data types? Well, that abstract data type was the idea or the concept of how something was going to work. For example, your stack was the abstract concept of a container that things were placed into the stack from the top and only accessed by removing those items from the top, and that you couldn't get to the bottom until you had taken everything else off the stack. And so it was abstract because it was the idea of how that was going to work without the actual implementation. You saw that it could be implemented with many different things, arrays or linked lists. It didn't really matter what you used to implement your stack. It was still a stack if it met that abstract model definition. So that's the same thing with a software process model. It's a model of ideas of how things are going to work, not the exact details of the process you're using. So we're back to these same key elements of developing software and software engineering. So your software processes have to include your specifications and requirements. What are you going to do? Your architecture, design, and implementation, actually making it work on your computer. The testing, validation, verification, making sure it really does what you want it to do. And then that maintenance and evolution as your product continues to live. So some examples of process activities would be specifying requirements, designing your user interface, coming up with your data models, coming up with your object models, and maybe some ordering of these activities. When you describe these processes, you also need to include what is the outcome of the process. What are you going to be producing, and who are the people that are going to be involved in producing these outcomes, and what roles will they have? For your process, you also have pre and post conditions that are saying these are the things that must be completed in order to enter into this process. And the post conditions are the conditions that have to be met to say that you have completed that process. We're going to look at 3 different process models today. We're going to look at waterfall, incremental development, which can include using agile values, or it also can be incrementally planned, or it could be a combination of the both. And then the last model that we're going to look at is integration and configuration. So frequently, large systems are developed using a process that combines elements from all of these models.